Y'all can hear me?
Yo,
Yeah, we hear
Jake.
you.
Hey, by the way,
What? I was getting on this shit.
oh, and by the way, all y'all niggas who was in here with the extra ad libs, I'm gonna keep the same energy.
No, oh, I'm definitely gonna keep the
All right,
energy. Act you
all right,
bugging.
okay. So Jake, I just watched. You got a nigga. I don't know if he is the nigga who made the video, but there's a nigga in my YouTube chat, YouTube streaming chat. They got all type of videos. Basically, this is what they told me, and I was just about to move on because this shit was just too confusing. But one guy made a video, and you tell me if this is accurate, whatever. I think you spoke on this before. There was an incident where the police came, and it was something to do with a window being shot at, or like something like that, right? Apparently, I think what you've said before on Adam and otherwise, that listen, you actually did it. The police came, obviously not trying to get in trouble. You're on call the cops. You basically say, listen, man, two other niggas did it, blah, blah, blah. The cops, they know what to do. They basically just wrote in a report, pretty much closed story. This new guy, or some new information, I guess they're saying, is like, listen, the two, you basically described two people, and the cops locked up two people. And essentially, this guy had like a shit ton of paperwork, or I don't know, additional affidavits where he's now saying, let's be honest, why would if Jake's aunt had like some poles or some, some things in a room, and somebody tried to like break in or hit the window, why would she call the cops? So they're saying that you made a statement that locked somebody up. Please give us clarity, because I'm a little confused.
So I don't understand that part you just said. If she had guns in her room, why wouldn't she call the police?
Because I guess they're assuming that it's illegal guns, right? So some illegal shit. So it's like, it's like
Well,
if you have.
I'm a respectfully assume that they're fucking retarded because we're speaking on Florida. You don't need a gun license to own a gun in your fucking room.
Mm,
So whatever my aunt had guns. Them ain't illegal guns. You see
okay.
what I'm saying? It's the state of fucking Florida. You only need a gun license to carry a gun.
Yeah.
So me trying to get access to the guns for whatever reason, I'm trying to get to them is some whole other shit. But whatever she had wasn't no illegal shit. So like I said, I popped the window and I shot it. See, this is where they specifically leave shit out, right? I shot it right above where the lock switch is. So I could stick something in there like a pen and flip the lock and get access into the shit
I got
because
in
she
that Uber yesterday. The nigga was annoying, bro.
AJ,
Oh,
AJ, 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 you're not muted, bro. You're not muted. All right, go ahead, go ahead.
shit fucked me up. I'm like, what? A Uber? Nah, so like I was just saying, I popped the window so I could get access into the room, right? So dude dropped the video saying, "Oh, we got a witness statement. You gave a statement to the police. You gave your phone number to the police. That phone number wasn't even my number." So what I did is I had my aunt go and request the same paperwork. It's 8 pages. She got the unredacted version, right? So where it says victim, it actually shows her name, shows all of her information. I have the unredacted version of the entire thing. Now this shit that he put out saying two individuals got arrested where it's blacked out, where he doesn't show the case number, where none of this other information is there, is weird, right? Because I had my aunt request that too.
Yeah.
So she requested it, called TPD and said, "Hey, apparently there's a paper saying two people were arrested from this incident. I want the entire report." They told her, "We don't have any record of anybody being arrested or detained, and if we did, it would have been added to the supplementary report. So we don't know what paper that's talking about." So when I seen dude's video, in one little segment, he shows the case number at the top. The case number looked blurred, right? It looked identical to the other case number, but it's not in that. And then there's one number, it's a 9 that looks like a possible 3. She requested that. Nothing came back. So this paper that's saying two individuals was arrested, I can't get. I don't know how anyone got it, if it's real, what it is, because my aunt requested the entire fucking thing, and she's getting the unredacted reports because she was the victim in the case. Now she says she wanted to press charges. If anybody was picked up, they would have presented that to her because that's what she says she wanted to do.
Yeah.
Nobody was brought to her. Nobody existed. So I don't understand How there's all
So
this other shit and there's apparently 18 pages and the 18 pages ain't dropped.
So essentially, this particular portion where they're saying 2 individuals was arrested, this is fake.
What I'm saying is I can't get it. If you can get it, then we can go from there. Because the person that's saying it's real switched the story 3 times. First, he said they found 2 people and one of them had a gun, which he fucked up because he was just reading the original report in which they said they were looking for 2 people, one of them having a gun. Then he said they got picked up but let go. He said they got arrested and then it got whatever, they got released. And then he said they got detained but released to their parents. So there's 3 different narratives.
all right, yo,
But the
yo,
thing
Jake,
that
I'm
ain't
not
making
going.
sense is he talking about somebody got released to their parents or they got released, whatever. Where is the paper saying that to
All
even
right, that's
take that narrative?
all right, right, Jake. I get what you're saying, but that's like, all right, nobody got locked up. All right, cool, we get that, right? But the problem is if you did say what they saying that you said, like if you did give that statement to the police, even if the people was made up or not, that's still ratting. And I say that
How
because
you rattle 2 people that don't exist?
wait, hold on. That's the same thing Boston Richie said he did. The same thing he said he did. He said he made, and I'm just holding you to your own standards. Boston Richie said he's snitched on. He made up 2 people, whatever the case may be. He made up 2 people that wasn't real, and you did the same thing, but you still calling Boston Richie a snitch, right? So I feel like
So
if
then
it's
you
gonna be
not
that
holding
way,
Boston Richie to the same accountability because Boston Richie identified multiple people, not just 2 people, multiple people. And then we broke down how he knows the individuals that he mentioned because some of them were also mentioned in the fucking witness list. And then he claimed that his brother or cousin that passed away didn't know Eddie Butler, who he named multiple times. But you go on his cousin's Facebook and he's friends with the same Eddie Butler. So we broke down that the people wasn't no fake people. He identified 3 people by photo lineup. It gets extensive.
so you telling me,
Hold on.
it's
Real
okay
quick.
to
So Pistol
to
P, it looked like he's been like really donating back and forth. Looked like he's heavily invested. I don't know if he's a YouTuber or whatever. He says, "Yo, he says, what's 1090 Jake talking about?" He literally said, "I don't want to speak much on it, but she had guns. Did I miss something?" I guess he's saying you alluded to the fact that maybe them guns wasn't on the up and up, but because
That's
you
what I'm
said you don't.
saying. What are they fucking retarded, bro? It's the state of Florida. You don't anybody that's over the age of 18 can walk into a store and get a gun. If you're 21, you could get an AK and bring it home. You only
Jake.
need a fucking gun license to carry in the
But
state
Jake,
of Florida. You need a gun
Jake,
license to own a gun?
I feel, yo, that person should just drop the link to the Discord so that they can come in here, act. But Jake, I feel like even speaking on the gun situation, I feel like that's dragging it. The main problem is you mention names even if the people didn't exist. I feel like if
What
anybody
name did
else,
No,
I
no, no.
mention? Let's break that down.
He didn't mention names. I
It
guess
was
he gave a
never a name.
description.
If I'm in a fucking neighborhood and I say, "Oh yeah, I seen a white dude and a Chico dude just run off," what name did I just mention?
so
Ain't no
you
name.
trying to,
It says in the paper at the same time.
so
He
what,
said he can't identify them. He's never seen them before.
so you trying to tell me if you be like, yo, it was 2 white dudes that had on blue jeans and a red shirt, and them 2 white dudes, and not the dudes that you mentioned, just 2 random ass white dudes that got that on, they get bumped for that. That's not snitching. If they was to get locked up for that shit, and you said
Did
the
anybody
description
get
that they had
locked
on,
up? If you in a neighborhood and say, "Hey, some black kid just robbed me," and they pick up any random ass black kid, but then they let his ass go, it's a fucking coincidence that there's a kid right around the corner.
I just feel like you're not holding that shit to the same
I just
standard,
feel like
bro.
you looking for something too because you just switched it to you just named somebody. I didn't
Nah,
name nobody.
Jake, you know I
And then
fuck
they
with you,
trying to
Jake.
come up with, "Oh, he must have told on his aunt because
Nah,
guns
nah,
are
nah, nah, nah,
illegal."
nah,
I
nah,
don't know
nah, nah,
where the
nah.
fuck
Jake,
y'all
Jake, Jake,
from.
Hold on,
you,
hold on.
Jake, you.
Hold on, Jake. Let me ask you a direct question, right? Because again, I'm gonna believe you. You said this additional paperwork where they're saying someone got arrested. You've never seen it. Y'all haven't gotten it yet, or whatever the case is, right?
This paperwork that's saying 2 individuals got locked up is the only piece of paper that's come out where the case number is cropped out.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. If this was real in terms of the paperwork, what would you say towards that?
If the paper was real that 2 people got picked up?
Yeah.
I mean, bro, I'm going to say it like this. If there's something on me, I wouldn't spare me because I'm not sparing nobody else. If 2 people got locked up from the situation, that's my fuck up. If 2 people got grabbed, detained, and released, I don't see none of that.
So if you give a description, it's not snitching. Like, it's
If
cool.
you give a fake description to throw a police officer off, you tell me what that is. Because I'll tell you something since you brought up Boston Richie. The people Boston Richie was around and cut him off. I ain't get cut off behind no situation.
Wait,
You see this piece of paper I just sent you?
Wait, what do you mean Boston Richie got cut off?
Man, them people he was claiming to be next to, whatever, the whole situation's dead.
Yeah, I see you sent me a paper. What is this?
Yeah, bring that one up. Because this is the funny thing about this, right? Is people talk about how come 1090 Jake don't talk about his own paperwork. I've done videos on my paperwork. This ain't no fucking. This isn't a case. This isn't a situation where I face time. This is a situation where my aunt would have took away my fucking Xbox. I was like 17 when this shit happened. So what I just sent you is the paperwork that the same dude that put this shit out, he claims to have this shit too, but he hasn't dropped this, for an obvious fucking reason. So this is the paperwork of my interrogation from when I was inside of jail for the case that I had caught that I went to prison for.
All right, give me 1 second. It's about to load up. Hold on. I can keep talking.
Motherfuckers acting like I'm hiding something. Boy, my whole fucking government name and DC number been out since day one.
So all right.
I'll take you.
So wait. So let me try to put. And honestly, I've said, number one, I don't think you're a snitch. I don't even think I even have authority to call people a snitch. But I don't think you're a snitch. I don't think Boston Richie's a snitch, right? And the reason why I say it is that I do see similarities in this case, right?
Well, this is what's funny, is the person that dug into this shit told me he got ties to the music industry and that he's looking into this shit because of the Boston Richie situation. And he claimed to have 2 people hit me up on behalf of Boston Richie to try to tell me not to drop the video. So I'm like, all right, well, ain't nobody hit me up, but why didn't you want the video to drop? And he was just like, oh, I just didn't feel like Boston Richie told and this and that. But mind you, this dude says he got ties to the industry, but he ain't telling me who he is. He got an anonymous YouTube page, an anonymous Instagram, whatever. But that's pretty much what this man told me.
That's odd.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, so I got the document you sent here, but do you see a little bit of similarity though? I guess Boston Richie would say, well, sorry, I guess he would say, well, yo, you did give a description, whether you named somebody or not, whether you looked on a photo array and you pointed people out, you did give a description, whether it was real or not. He claims he was just pointing out people that had nothing to do with nothing, right? I would imagine Boston Richie's people would say, well, none of the people that were mentioned or anything ever got charged or locked up based on that particular investigation. And it would be the same that you're pretty much saying, that nothing that you said led to no one getting charged. So I guess he would say, well, if you aren't a snitch, why are you calling me a snitch? Because
I'll say like I'll throw gang politics aside and just speak on like prison politics, right? You comparing a case in which my own aunt's window got shot with a BB gun to somebody voluntarily giving names in a homicide investigation.
Well, hold on though. Hold on. But I think his cousin or somebody got killed in the front of his yard. So it's not
Yeah.
like he just like ran into the precinct. He said
No, no,
that
no,
the
no, no.
cops were
But
harassing him.
he didn't get picked up after the homicide. He got picked up for loitering and then had that interrogation with the police. That he wasn't facing time towards that homicide. He wasn't picked up solely to speak on that homicide. He was already in contact with them for that homicide. He got picked up on a loitering charge, and they decided to interrogate him. And I'm assuming that's one of multiple interrogations because they dropped that other interrogation on Say Cheese, and I don't even know where that one is. To be honest, I never even found that one.
Yeah. I feel, all right. So tell me what we're looking at right here. I got the paperwork on
Scroll. Well, go up to the top real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I just gotta wait until it shows me it's at the top. All right, boom. I just wanted them to be able to get the case number, and then go down to the bottom
Okay.
where it just says all the shit.
You're gonna see it in a second.
Yeah, right there. All right, so boom. If you want to just go through and read them two paragraphs.
On October 7th, 2012, at approximately 11 a.m., I became aware that Jacob Cherry had been arrested by the Tampa Police Department early that morning for burglary of a vehicle. Subsequent to the arrest by TPD, an SNW MP 9mm handgun, serial number blah blah, was discovered on his person. They confirmed that the gun was stolen in the incident on October 11, 2012, approximately 10:15 a.m. I attempted to interview Jacob Cherry at the Falcon Road Jail. He was escorted to the interview room by corrections deputies. Upon entrance to the interview room, I advised him that I was investigating a burglary at his uncle's house. I asked him if he wanted to talk with me. He said, piss off. He said, piss off. The interview ended and he was taken back to his pod. On October 12, 2012, at approximately 1400 hours, I delivered a CRA for Jacob Cherry with charges related to this case. I don't know what CRA is.
So basically, when they took me out of the jail pod, they brought me down to where you normally meet with your lawyer or whatever. And there was two detectives. The shit lasted fucking 30 seconds. That's what happened. They bring me back. Then the next day, I got hit with like 16 to 17 more felony charges. One of them was an armed burglary punishable by life in Florida. So this is a case where I'm actually facing some fucking time. This is the case I went to prison for. This is how it played out. Now, the same dude that says he has my paperwork and this decided not to post this because obviously this portrays an image, right? And he says that he also has the full video of my co-defendant's proffer, good faith proffer, where he cooperated against me, which I've never seen. I never even got to see the paperwork of what he said against me. All of this shit was new to me. But for whatever reason, nobody wants to drop he told the fucking investigators to fuck off, and his co-defendant gave a whole fucking hour-long interview. So they gonna bring up some shit where I wasn't even facing no fucking a BB gun shooting.
Wow. Holy shit. So essentially, so this was another case they brought you in on. They were trying to get information on the same shit. You told them no.
This was the case I went to prison for. So I got caught with a stolen gun. The stolen gun was linked back to an armed burglary of 15 other guns.
It was linked back to a armed burglary with other guns.
Yeah, there was 15 guns that got taken from my house.
Holy shit. Damn. So
Yo, Jake.
That's more or less how that whole situation popped off. That's the case I went to.
Why'd you go to jail though? Couldn't you just be like, wait, I just got this gun in the streets. I never robbed that nigga to get it.
Nah, because you can't, if you're under 21, you're illegally carrying a gun. You can't carry a gun in Florida if you're under 21. So I got hit with carrying a concealed firearm.
Mm, that makes sense. What were you saying? Facts?
I wanted to know, Jake. So when you was younger, right? In that case with the BB gun case, did you talk to the officers and and tell them that it was two invisible people?
Did I say it was two invisible people word for
Like
word?
like you just gave them two made up people, right?
I'll be 100% honest with you. I really don't even remember the situation. I had to call my aunt, but I'm assuming that's what I said.
So Jake, before this, I always fucked with you, like, and I still fuck with you. I personally don't give a fuck. But what I'm just saying is that's the only reason why it looks like niggas is saying that you snitch because of that right there. You feel me? Like that's all I'm saying.
See, I can't, like, in my honest opinion, I can't even really wholeheartedly believe that because I can show y'all a 50-minute interrogation video of somebody's favorite rapper telling on everybody, and they gonna say, "Nah, he ain't snitch." I just feel like it's hard to disprove somebody when they're not seeking the truth, but they're seeking what they want,
Nah,
and
I
that's
get
what I
it.
feel like people are looking. I feel like people are looking for what they want to be true because there's a whole lot of other shit that they just completely avoiding.
Mm. There was some other people in here, AJ and everybody else, man. What do y'all think? Again, I feel like it's an interesting situation. Man, put it like this: if I listen to certain people, and Jake, I'm gonna be honest, even your own words, right? When you almost said, "Hey, when you get asked by the police, the only thing you should say is lawyer," right? So
Uh,
I feel like they're trying to use that against you. And yes, it's probably incentivized because you expose somebody who maybe some people like, but they're like, yo, well, why don't you live up to what you're saying that other people should do? You know what I mean? Why didn't you say lawyer?
well, I didn't say lawyer. The paperwork says I said piss off in this case, and this is a case where I'm actually facing some shit. Where I have a co-defendant. There
What I
was a whole nother situation where somebody didn't even get charged. So I have a whole history of not saying anything. This is a situation where I wasn't even charged in the case, and I try to put blame on some whole other shit. Like, oh nah, two random people. See, this is the thing, bro. If I really break it down, right? Because someone broke it down and like fucked up at the same time. Because they were trying to say, oh, Jake lied. What BB gun sounds like a gunshot. I agree with you wholeheartedly. So how the fuck did I hear it, right? That wouldn't make sense because I said, "Oh, I heard a gunshot," and then I saw a window was. I couldn't even see the window was broken unless I went outside because the door was locked. The house sits sideways. The front door doesn't face the street. The front door faces to the side. It sits sideways, kind of like a sideways trailer. So you wouldn't even see nobody. If I look out my fucking living room window, I'm looking at the house next to mine. That's what I'm saying. Like the whole fucking shit's fabricated and like literally broken down to where it doesn't even make sense. The report says he heard a gunshot. What airsoft sounds like a gunshot? They didn't even open the bedroom door until my fucking aunt comes home.
Hey, I agree. Hey, facts. AJ Kyrie, I see y'all on in here. This is what I don't like what y'all do. When Jake in here, y'all all silent. But if Jake leave right now, y'all be like, oh
Nah,
man.
nah, nah, nah,
Oh no
nah.
no
I
no no.
already look.
Nah,
Y'all be
I
I
having
didn't have
told
to.
mad
I
I didn't have
told
nothing
you.
to say to this. I think this is all like stupid to be real. Like, none of this shit makes sense, and nor do I think people really care that much. But that's just me.
That's
Nah, I
how
just
I honestly feel.
I think our new name
I'm,
should be
I'm
the
not I'm
paperwork
not
party
gonna be like,
poopers.
oh yeah, they pussy, they quiet. They might have been discussing some shit. And I might have just cleared some shit up. Now that I'm actually in here to explain it, because I still see people in the comments confused about what age you can be
yeah,
to carry a fucking gun in Florida
Yeah,
and all the
that's
types
not even the
of
point of the contention in this conversation. To be real, it's
fucking
like you
retarded.
said, like if you throwing people off the trail, you throwing people off the trail. There's nothing more to really talk about.
yeah. Nah, I ain't gonna cap. The chat just tired of this. They tired of this shit. But fucking, they said it's ridiculously
Yeah,
boring.
it's a paperwork party. We paperwork party poopers right now.
Yeah, they saying it's boring. But I'm
Hold
just
on,
saying
wait,
that's
wait,
the
all
only.
right,
That's
all right,
my
well,
only
all right.
thing. Like, if you gonna
Let me
stand on
ask
that, you
you,
just gotta stand on that.
Jake. Let
That
me
shit
ask
ain't
you then,
boring.
right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I hear somebody, but they broken up.
Jake, let me ask you this question. So since essentially for the last like 2-3 weeks, it feels like there's been pretty much a witch hunt for you, right? Have you rethought maybe how you're gonna go about, or even, obviously people tune into you for really good content, but are you gonna possibly like kind of stay away from, you know, just labeling, like, especially artists, especially with the following, like, oh, this person's a snitch, this and third, because it feels like, when people do like an artist, they're gonna make up reasons why not to accept whatever you say, and also at a point they might be like, nigga, let's talk about you.
I mean, I don't really give a fuck about what comes after, to be honest with you. Like I said, I don't care who still listens to Boston Richie. That ain't had nothing to do with the video. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna change shit. It's like I said, bro. If I had something on me, I wouldn't expect somebody to spare me because I'm not gonna spare them. You know what I'm saying? It's like my information been out since I started YouTube, bro. Like this is the thing. The paperwork you looking at right now, I covered this case. I covered all of my cases. I covered my prison disciplinary reports. The same kid that tried to push paperwork on me went and got all the same shit. And he's seeing the same shit. This wasn't an actual case of mine. So this wasn't something that I'm able to fucking, like, I wasn't reaching out to the police departments to get paperwork. I'm going through the county clerk sites. So this kid actually told me, "Oh no, I went through the police department, called them, da da da." But I mean, like, the last 2 weeks, like you said, I'm in the midst of setting up the whole new YouTube studio. So I just got my PC back. I just got it redone. You know what I mean? And I'm about to go and install the monitors, this and that. So I already had an idea of what direction I'm gonna take things,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm probably not gonna do it immediately because now it's gonna seem like I'm switching up my content based on this situation, which I'm not even finna go for that. So I'm probably just gonna ride out doing the same shit I've been doing till I hit that million, since I'm only 90K away,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can fuck around and start branching out because that's really how I blew up to begin with. Once I started popping off with the prison shit and hit 100K, everybody tried to do the same shit. Now there's 1,000,001 channels doing the same thing I'm doing. It's just not me doing it. So it kind of takes away from the success when everybody's doing the same thing. So you kind of gotta like stay ahead of the game and jump into different situations, and you know what I mean. But no, I'm not changing shit.
Yeah.
Hey, Jay, I feel like the biggest thing was that situation with the BB gun. It just felt like the goalpost was being moved for you compared to the same thing with Boss Richie did. That's what we was trying to get to the bottom of, because it's like it can't be like, oh, they, like I say, oh, it's cool when they do it, but it's a problem when I do it. That's what it was feeling like.
I mean, I can respect that opinion. I can't take somebody's opinion away from them. I would just say, there's a big motherfucking difference in being the person that shoots out their aunt's window with a BB gun, trying to get the guns in her room, compared to somebody that's naming fucking 8+ people in a homicide investigation. But that's just my opinion.
I see somebody say, yo, act, this got nothing to do with his other case. How you let him deflect?
It has nothing to do with deflection. It's an example of me actually facing time. This is an example of me actually getting sat down in a fucking jail interrogation, and that's how it went. They tried to interrogate me in prison too. They beat the shit out of me because I wouldn't tell on who cut me. Obviously, there's no paperwork on that situation, but it's another example. So it's like, if a motherfucker got a history of cooperating, they got a history of cooperating.
Hey, I'm
Oh,
satisfied. I don't give a fuck.
I'm just saying, if you're gonna put paperwork out, put all the motherfucking paperwork out. Because if I had something on Boston Richie that would have made his ass look good, I would have put it out. But everything I pushed out was a fucking dub.
Somebody said that you had to somebody had to do community service because you had to cover yourself.
I had to do community service.
Somebody else had to do community service
Yeah, where
because you
was that?
covered yourself.
Man, what?
if your
Where was
human
where
rights
was this
got
at?
violated in prison, Jake, that sounds like a dope video to me. I want to hear about these, how the prison's being ran, how they, need to fix the Florida prison system.
No, I mean, if you go back, I got videos like 2, 3 years old on all that shit. That's how I started my channel. Was talking about my experience in prison and bringing people on for interviews in prison, people I did time with, all that shit. So it's like I got all the videos breaking down them situations. I got the video where I talk about how I got cut. The CEOs beat the shit out of me because I said I fell down the stairs. They stomped me out, whatever. They put me in a cell under investigation for 5 days until I got transferred. They ain't even changed my clothes, so I still had the blood all over my clothes. They hot glued my face shut, all that shit.
And there was no paperwork on that. And the only reason I'm bringing that up is to say we can say that they lie. Like we all know that they be lying about because so paperwork doesn't necessarily mean anything. That's just what one person or officer typed up. They can lie. We didn't beat 1090 Jacob. We put him in a cell. No, y'all beat. You know what I mean? Like we all know
Nah, there
they lie.
wasn't there wasn't no paperwork on that because they're not gonna write paperwork on that, and there wasn't no paperwork to write on me getting cut because nobody got booked for me getting cut.
But you see how they corrupt, and you see how we just going by paperwork ain't necessarily like that. Don't
Nah, but
necessarily
the
mean it's true.
DOC is a whole nother monster, bro. That can't even get compared to the streets. That shit's the Florida Department of Corrections is a fucking completely different conversation. That shit's different.
Nah, that's under the same, man. It's all the same, bro.
It
They be
sounds all
lying.
the same until you go in there because you could say your rights got violated until you die. And every time your people call to prison, they say you on a transfer bus for the next 10 fucking years. Nobody knows where you at. I mean, they got a history of burying bitches in the ground and building buildings on top of them in the prison system.
A
Florida
dude,
Department of Corrections is very different. This is where the KKK is still active. The
I know, I'm
COs are
aware.
still in the, it's a whole shit different.
Hmm. Wow. King
Paperwork
King
party.
Drago the Great says, man, just because you didn't snitch on one doesn't mean you didn't snitch on the other. You're trying to deflect by showing the one time you didn't do something. That's not enough. Somebody named Honey's Nut says, bro, listen, what are we talking about? He is a snitch by his own rules. I don't know, man. Hey, I guess some people really just wanted you to just tell them people piss off both times. So you told them piss off one time. When the cops had came to you and be like, yo, who shot your auntie's window out? You should have told them, man, fuck y'all niggas. We don't give a fuck. I'm not telling you shit.
Facts.
Hey. And by the way, I think that's the interesting thing though. So for everybody who's watching and consuming this content, you guys can make up your own mind. I think you guys want like this one definitive thing. I keep telling y'all, if you listen to 1090 Jake, and if he does a report and he comes to an opinion that somebody is, I call him truth teller. He might say snitch. If you feel they are, you should go by what you feel. I feel like he's putting information out as transparent. It's not like a nigga just coming out and be like, yo, he's a snitch. Just believe me, son. Like, yo, he's giving you enough information where maybe you look at the information and be like, nah, I wouldn't particularly call that a snitch. And you can make up your own mind. Like, at least for me, I'm not trying to socially program y'all. So, like, for example, even with Jake now, like, he's offering a response to say, yo, listen, the case that y'all are talking about, I named or described people, which he didn't name the one. He described people. He said I described fictitious people. Nobody got locked up, and I wasn't gonna get charged. Like, if anything, my family was a victim in it. You know what I mean? You guys let me know. I don't know, man.
Yo, Marv, go ahead, Marv.
Hold on, Jake. I do got a question for you though. This Big Marv right here.
So
Obviously, I don't think you a snitch, bro. I think niggas is trying to reach because with everything that's going on, they looking for something to say about you. But you still ain't really answer the question of how Buddy got all them like the info on you because you said you ain't never seen it. You said your auntie got all the paperwork, it's redacted, but you ain't never seen it before. So are you saying it's made up, it's fake, or are you saying it's some shit that was like well hidden that you couldn't find?
no, it isn't. So people keep confusing the word redacted, right? Because somebody tried to say I tried to contact my lawyer and have the case redacted, right? I don't have a lawyer in Tampa. I had a public defender in all my cases. Redacted is just the words that are completely blacked out on the paper, like the victim, the two juveniles that were allegedly arrested. So what he told me, and the difference between what I did on myself and what he did, is I got all my paperwork through the Hillsborough County court site. The courts get their paperwork from the sheriff's office. What he told me is the Tampa Police Department is the one that had all the additional paperwork. So he had to actually reach out to the Tampa Police Department to get all the shit that I've never seen. And that's the reason Hillsborough County courts never had all that shit. So I never saw it, right? So when he's showing the BB gun incident, I know that's a real incident. So I'm not saying that that's fake paperwork. I know it's a real incident. And there's 8 pages of it that I now have where I can see literally everything, including my aunt's name. But the piece of paper where it's saying that 2 people was arrested or charged or whatever, that doesn't have a case number. He didn't show the case number. The case number was cropped out. I've had my aunt request and try to find any documentation so I could actually view this. And he claims that it's either 16 or 18 pages long, which is longer than the original report, but no one's been able to get back. So the records called her back, told her we don't have any document of that. If we did, it would have been in the original report that we sent you, added to the supplementary report. So I don't know what that is. I'm expecting that he's gonna answer that since he's the one that's
So
pushing that.
so if the peoples is saying that they don't know what it is, they ain't never seen it before, that means it's fake then.
Well, that's what I would assume, right? And the funny thing about it is there's one picture that came out of it being blurred where you can see the case number on top. And you can't really tell if it's a 9 or a 3. If it's a 3, we requested that. That's a case out of New Tampa that has nothing to do with the situation. And if it's a 9, when you request that paperwork, it's the same 1 through 8 pages. And then at the top, there's also a typo where it says copy, it says COPT. And then the font of the report is in a different font than all of the other reports. So these are all things that I like looked at. And my aunt was like, yeah, it looks like somebody just pieced this shit together. I'm like, I don't know if he'd really be that stupid to do that. Like a motherfucker wouldn't find out, but I don't
So
know.
we gotta bring him in here. We
I
gotta ask him what's up.
I can't fucking find it.
That's
All right, but
interesting.
can you clarify one more time for the chat though? Because niggas be saying, oh, they think it's the same shit. Clarify one more time that the difference between you and Boston Richie is you said it was invisible people, nobody that they could actually find, and Boston Richie gave out real people that they later on found out that it was real people that existed. Can you just clarify that one more time?
Yeah, I gave out 2 descriptions and he gave out fucking names, right?
Okay. All right.
Paperwork party.
Is everybody satisfied, man?
I'm satisfied.
All right, chat. Are y'all good with this? Listen, this to me is a um it's a done and moot point unless somebody shows that what that individual is saying that 2 people got locked up. If nobody got locked up, like what are we still talking about?
Well, this is the other thing that I was interested in, act that made me feel like, maybe that paperwork ain't fake because dude made the statement that they were released to their parents. So he said they got picked up, detained, but then were released to their parents. And I told him, I mean, that doesn't even make sense, bro. I done been locked up as a juvenile in Tampa. If you throw a brick at a fucking window, you get charged with throwing a deadly missile. You're going to get booked. You're going to get taken down to the Jack Center, which is the Juvenile Assessment Center. You're going to get processed. And you're either going to get released or you're going to go to the detention center for 21 days. So it's like, how did they just get released? And I'm assuming if they got released, it's because they pulled up on them and, oh, y'all got anything to do with this? No? Okay, never mind. That's what I thought would have been in the rest of the 18 pages that was supposedly out there, but none of that shit ended up getting pushed.
This might be a setup then. Might be a setup. All right. All right. Chat. We're gonna move on from this, yo. Jake, listen, appreciate you like always for hopping on here.
Yes, sir.
Rather than having the speculation, you address the shit quickly, swiftly, and you always come with some proof. I do know, and by the way, this is what you have to worry about pretty much. You have spearheaded a new lane that's on YouTube of people getting and putting forth paperwork and, you know, I think maybe not someone, maybe a lot of people thinking the quickest way to gain a reputation is to knock the head off the snake, and not necessarily call it a snake, but it's just like, yo, if we expose 1090 Jake, like shit, we're fucking made. So you're probably gonna get people that's gonna question situations with you, or try to dig into something, or try to find some stuff that they believe exists. Hopefully, this is all smoke and mirrors, and you get to keep doing whatever you're doing. Because even though I don't even think people would care, but
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, in your honest opinion, do you even think it fucking matters?
No.
I was about to say, like, because the thing is, the difference between a YouTuber and a rapper, that rapper is no longer able to collab because nobody wants that shit on them. A YouTuber, you work solely by yourself, bro. I
I'm
don't
gonna
need
keep
to.
it.
Don't,
Not
nobody,
even.
nobody want that shit on their name. But I don't think
The
I don't
only
think
thing
it's
I
the
would
same
say,
standard.
though is it definitely wouldn't matter. But the only thing I would say is that they would look at other content that you would do, potentially calling anyone else a snitch. They would look at
Oh,
it
it's
weird.
being a hypocrite. I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
agree with that. But
Mm-hmm.
another thing too, to add on to your question of if I plan on changing my style of content. See, what's crazy is I never wanted to be a rapper because I just felt like it's a death wish. It's like a roller coaster until that bitch drops. You know what I'm saying? It just comes with a whole lot of beef and unnecessary shit.
Mm-hmm.
And with this YouTube shit, once I started pushing paperwork, and like I said before, this whole shit came about really accidentally. But once I started putting that out, it pretty much brought on all of those same problems in the street. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, what's the point of stopping now if what I already did is done and what's up is already up? You know what I'm saying?
True, true, true.
It's like it is what it is at this point. Even if I stop, that ain't gonna make the motherfucker that got exposed feel some type of way. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna change his mind on what took place already. So it's like you gotta stand on that shit.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. Shit. All right. Anything else to add from anybody else in here? Jake, when could we see like an announcement of like what you're gonna be doing, whether it's streaming new content? Because people still, they obviously care about you.
Man, I say probably like a week, honestly. I gotta get everything set up correctly in about a week. I'm gonna show y'all an entirely new YouTube studio, new setup, new everything. So give it about a week and I'll have that shit going.
Mm. Would you consider incorporating something like the Snitch Hall of Fame? I'm serious.
Nah. I mean, I might do a compilation video or something like that, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to expand a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, which I think is dope, because unfortunately, because this content is so like, people so rabid to consume this content, they're gonna try to pigeonhole you into it. But again, definitely, if I could give you any advice, work to figure out and just do other things that this should be one of the things you do. You know what I mean? And it is one of the things you do, but you want it to be one of the things you're known for, right?
Right.
All right, my man.
Definitely.
I'm gonna hit a couple more topics, and then I'm gonna get the fuck off of this bitch. Chat. I gotta go somewhere really special in the morning, but I definitely wanted to get tonight Jake on here. Salute to him for coming on here. Let me hit a couple more topics real quick, and Jake, I'll give you the last word before I'm about to mute up on this shit.
No, yeah. Just once again, I appreciate you having me on, bro.
All right, no doubt, my man.